can I tell y'all this last story and get up out of your way? Y'all all right with me? My mom can attest to this. I didn't know that building was so tough, right? I'm a country boy by nature, but I'm not a brick layer or look how y'all looking at me right now. I'm from the country, but that don't mean I wear gloves when I cut grass. I'm not mask and full. I'm the guy that when we go fishing, I use gloves to take the fish out the thing. I ain't got time to be touching. Y'all looking at me like. So we were renovating the church back home, Impact Church of Hazelhurst. We're renovating the church back home, and the building was built, according to them, in 1933. So it's an older building in the city. And when we first walked inside the older building, ooh, this is about to bless me. I got to contain myself. When we first walked in the older building, it was me and my sister Millie, and we walk inside the building, and it's 1933 built. I mean, it's just looking, you can only imagine. And the building had not been open for probably a decade or more. It had been just shut down. Nobody had been in it. And God led us to that building and said we was going to pay cash for that building. We walk inside of it. There's no lights on inside the building, if you can see it. So it's an older building from the outside, built in 1933. Back then, it probably was a stellar building built in the city. But when we walked in there in 2017, you can only imagine what it looked like. So we go inside the building. It's dark on the inside of the building. You cannot see anything. We got cell phones and flashlights, and we're flashlighting around. Now, we did not know initially that the floor was red because it was covered in so much dust and dirt that it looked as if it was gray. I thought the floor was gray for a long time until we finally were able to watch it. So we walk inside. It's dark, if you can picture it. We got our lights on our phone and flashlights. The ground or the concrete is covered in dirt, and it is gray. On the walls are old drapes that are hanging down on the side. It's an old theater. These drapes are absolutely horrible looking. They were like a tan color. So I'm thinking for sure the floor must really be gray because these drapes are a tan color and they're matching the drapes with the floor. So I'm looking at the drapes hanging down, and then on the stage it has a curtain, and the curtain is burgundy. Now there's a mixture of all kind of colors going on, and the curtain is there, and the curtain is kind of falling apart. And then the stage is made out of wood, and it sits up about this high. So when we walk inside the building, it's looking as if we buy this building, Brother Charles, we're going to have to tear the whole building down and build back up where we are. So we're looking at it and we're thinking, how much money is it going to take for us to rebuild this building? Ooh, I'm going somewhere. I hope y'all follow me. And we're looking at the building like, man, this is too much. We're going to have to rebuild this whole thing. I look at my sister, I say, hey, we're going to have to tear it down. We look up in the balcony. The balcony is the pole that's supposed to be keeping people from falling over. It's falling off. If you can see the building, it's rodents from the country running around. It's a stack of old computers on the side of the building. The stage is so large that the previous owner had 3 cars parked on the stage. And when you look inside the building, everything in my natural mind said, tear it down and rebuild it. But then a dude by the name of James Vonador came in the building one day and found a breaker box. And playing with the breaker box, let there be. There was light. And when the light came on, now you can see the burgundy floor peeking up through the dirt. And now you can see all the stuff that's along the side. Now you can see the cars that are on the stage. And as we talked to the previous owner, one car he pulled out. He came back the next week and pulled a second car. Now, the third car he had in there, I was hoping that he might forget it so we can hang on to it, and then we could have traded the car and got all the money we needed to pay for the rebuilding. But he comes back, he gets the third car. So now the stage is clear, and you can see that the stage is made out of old oak wood and is thick. So then James Vonador is up there one day. I drove to Metro Atlanta needing to clear my mind. And when I came back, James had a water hose and he was watering down the floor. So now the dirt is going down into a drain. And now you can see the red all the way coming through from where the dirt was. And then as we look at the stage, we say, okay, we can put stairs right here and we can build stairs around. So a brother came through with some plywood and he shut up the part of the stage, put it where we can put stairs, and now you got stair access to the stage. So then I'm up on the stage one day just playing around, dancing, having a good time all by myself. And I look up and I see that there are color lights, theater lights. So now I'm tracing them and tracking them to find where they are. And I find that there's a plug and that this cord is hanging down, and me just being the kid that I am, I want to play with the cord, so I plug the cord in, and poof, now all these colored lights pop down and lights are shining in on the stage. So now I step back and I'm looking at something that I thought we might have to tear down and rebuild. It had enough for us to maintain already where it was. What am I saying to some people in LOMPOC tonight? You don't have to tear down the building that God has already given you. You got everything you already need. Here it is. You just got to clean up some stuff that's in your building and see that your floor is about to start peeking through. See that there are colored lights on your stage, and see that there's a wooden floor for you to stand your feet on. And I just showed up tonight to say to some people in Lompoc, California, that Jesus has already shown up in 4 churches in 1 location. And everything that we thought that we were going to have to tear down and rebuild, it's already here. We just got to renovate it and reconstruct it. And is there anybody in this place that don't mind grabbing some gloves and some tools out of your toolbox and going out into the streets and praying for those that are less fortunate, touching and agreeing with people that don't look like you? I triple dog, there's somebody in this place right now that loves Jesus enough to say that I'm going to renovate and I'm going to reconstruct what God has already given me. I'm done. But he's given us the strength that we need to rebuild. He's given us the insight that we need to rebuild. He's given us the wisdom that we need to rebuild. He's given us young people and older people that we need to rebuild. The only thing that's left is now you got to grab hands with somebody that may not look like you, that may not come from your background, that may not have the same financial status as you, may not have the socioeconomic status that you do. But if the Bible be true and what it says, how can you say you love God who you cannot see, but not love your brother and sister who you're sitting next to right now? And the only person that's mad in Lompoc, California right now is the devil and all his imps that are in hell, because we come right now to shake up the enemy's kingdom by uniting 4 churches in 1 location. And this is what it looks like to do kingdom